Chapter 20: Task-Oriented User-Centered Design and Tri-Track Agile. Very few Agile coaches and Scrum Masters are experts in CX, and nearly zero Agile models correctly address customer centricity. Therefore, we will need to examine an approach that can overlay digital and non-digital delivery methods. If you are more of a service business, you can replace Agile with the methods and frameworks you use. Quote, "You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try to sell it." End quote. Steve Jobs. We love to quote Steve Jobs and then we don't do anything he advises. What would it look like to start with the customer and their experiences and work backwards to the technology? Agile supports customer satisfaction and centricity. Look in Agile methods for anything that supports focusing on customer experiences, user experiences, customer centricity, value, quality, and user satisfaction. For example, the infographic showing the safe Agile process has customer centricity written in the middle with a double diamond image representing a derivative of the user-centered design process. Despite SAFE's clumsy and incomplete approach to CX and UX, interpret this as SAFE's blessing for us to be customer-centric and use thorough user-centered design processes. Figure 44. Screenshot from part of SAFE's Lean Enterprise Framework infographic showing customer centricity, a bow tie wearing person icon inside a circle, and a double diamond. ScaledAgileFramework.com. Ultimately, no matter your delivery methods, cross-functional teams are assembly lines. QA engineers can't perform unit or integration testing until developers have written enough code to be tested. There's only so much developers can do when we haven't finalized our solution. CX architects should be working from what researchers discovered. There are many stations in our assembly line, and we want both accuracy and efficiency. Developers will need to strategically decide what they can start when CX designs are not yet finalized. Depending upon the project, they might be able to start work on database architecture, microservices, API calls, and functions our PSE will have no matter the mechanism, workflow, or execution of the solution. While designs are not yet finalized, developers might work on a previous project, bug fixes, or refactoring. Then is customer centricity anti-agile? Being customer-centric is agile in that it prioritizes knowledge over guessing, aims for efficiency, reduces mistakes and rework, truly puts outcomes over outputs, measures customers' experiences and satisfaction, identifies and mitigates risks earlier, feeds knowledge into the system, influencing and informing cross-functional teams, breaks down silos, improves communication and collaboration, and encourages critical thinking, and sets projects up for success through estimation, planning, and breaking work into smaller pieces where possible. Feature-oriented versus task-oriented. Many teams start with requirements, user stories, or feature ideas. These ideas are often a guess, assumption, or hope based on a desired business outcome. Sometimes these are ideas on how to nudge user behaviors so we can meet business goals. Ideas around functionality become features we plan and roadmap. We feed features into the product world and ask UX designers to create wireframes and prototypes for those ideas. Our solution is based on pre-decided features. This approach is called being feature-oriented. You decide the features first, and everything is planned around them. If these features aren't a strong match to customers' needs, tasks, or realities, we may create a lot of delay, waste, and risk, thinking that we are fast. Hoping to find out later if our guesses were good is reactive and risky. It might be weeks or months until we get survey results or analytics. Feature-oriented processes are easy to spot because they usually start with build, such as build, test, learn. They might be variations of idea, quick design, build, test, learn, iterate, evolve. Feature-oriented processes assume that it's not worth the time to try to learn more before just trying your first idea. We assume we will guess well what people need, and we don't mind showing our cards to the public as we go. We will find out later if our idea had any customer value, and we might be surprised. As an example, situations in which we would never allow a build, test, learn process or speed over quality include 1. Medical conditions. We prefer when doctors investigate and learn before medicating or operating. We want to be cured quickly, but we will devote more time to diagnosis, especially if that helps us get the cure right the first time. 2. Vehicles. We are grateful that manufacturers design, prototype, and test many iterations rather than selling vehicles and then learning where they are unpleasant or unsafe. 3. Buildings and bridges. We don't start construction on buildings or bridges based on an idea someone has. We have architects, structural engineers, and other specialists learning and designing before anything is built. End of list. Task-oriented design has been around for decades and is the opposite of being a feature factory. Task-oriented design embodies customer centricity. What we research and learn about real users' tasks are the starting and focal points. This requires solution-agnostic, generative qualitative research. We are not checking if people like a concept. We are learning who they are, how they do things now, and what their unmet needs are. We have no solution in mind during research. We then write problem statements and prioritize user needs and PSE opportunities. After prioritization, CX teams can work on concepts and task-oriented user-centered design based on our evidence and customer intelligence. Once CX has architected, designed, vetted, and validated a solution, we now know the features. The features derive from the solution. The solution can be broken into features, stories, JIRA tickets, backlog items, or however your engineering teams want to do it. Let's compare a feature-oriented process to a task-oriented approach where both include some research. Imagine that we learn from support channels that customers are unhappy with our dashboard. We're not showing the information people need. Feature-oriented. We want to learn the feature people are missing. Product managers or marketing run a survey asking if you need bar graph A, line graph B, or pie graph C. Bar graph A wins. We ask UX to design bar graph A since that's the feature we're building. Usability testing might be skipped, but if we tested the design of the new graph, we might find that people understand the graph. Sounds like a success. We believe this solves the original problem, but does it? We might know months from now when we check in with support and see if their dashboard complaints have decreased. Task-oriented. We want to better understand the tasks and workflows that relate to dashboard usage. We learn from observational research that our target customers generate certain reports for executives after viewing our dashboard or similar dashboards in competitors' systems. Our users need to make data comparisons that these dashboards don't currently offer, so they export the data into another tool. Some of the work is done by assistants who must collaborate with their managers. After analysis and internal collaborations, our customers can make informed suggestions to executives. The real task here isn't to look at a dashboard. The real task is to have the evidence empowering our users to advise executives. The real problem is not only that certain information and functionality are missing, it's also that the data presented isn't actionable. CX starts with research insights and evidence and doesn't yet know which features will create the best solution. CX can create a possible solution and use rounds of testing and iteration to check that it's a match to customers' needs and solves the real problem. The vetted and finalized solution can later be broken into features, stories, or whatever engineering needs for their backlog. Task-oriented design, starting with qualitative observational research, asks and answers the questions that feature-oriented processes often miss. We take the time to gather more evidence first, rather than moving forward with something we hope is good enough for customers. Tri-Track Agile. Figure 45. Simplified visualization of Tri-Track Agile. Explained below. Dual-track Agile separated CX work, called discovery, from engineering and delivery. Tri-track Agile is an evolution past dual-track Agile and is often credited to Dave Malouf. M-A-L-O-U-F. Tri-track Agile is clearer that within CX and UX, two main streams of work are going on simultaneously. Track 1. Understanding. The first track works on research, strategies, opportunities, and artifacts from research. This provides foundations in the form of insights, evidence, and strategies. We understand problems and needs, and although we don't yet have the solution mapped out, we can create evidence-based problem statements and plan the work that will get us to the right solution. This track is continuously researching something. Generative research, our exploratory and discovery work, is continuously done. Track 1 includes evaluative research, such as rounds of concept and prototype testing. Research, customer intelligence, and strategy tasks are always being planned and executed. Track 2. Discovery. Informed by the first track, the second track works on roadmapping, architecting and designing PSE, and testing and improving it. Research-guided PSE roadmaps are a hallmark of task-oriented design. During this stream of work, we create one or more possible solutions and use user-centered design to iterate and refine. Evaluative research of prototypes connects tracks 1 and 2. This second track includes content, writing, visual design, and other CX tasks that do not happen during the understanding track. Track 3. Delivery. Track 2's finalized designs and solutions are fed into the third track. Everything related to Agile, Scrum, and engineering lives in this delivery stream. That way, engineering can do their work with whatever approaches or styles they prefer, and it doesn't affect how product and CX are working. End of list. 3 streams of simultaneous work highlight the importance of specialized CX researchers being separate people from specialized CX architects. Some companies try to combine these into one job, but it would be hard, if not impossible, for one person to do 2 different ongoing streams of work simultaneously and well. Customer centricity requires us to care more about the quality of our work. We want world-class user-centered design work done before world-class engineering and delivery. Discovery stream, concept, and execution. When we think about PSE, we often think about ideas, solutions, features, and designs. To be more customer-centric, we will need to break this down further. There is the concept or idea, and there is the design and precise execution of the concept. You are surrounded by examples. The concept is the four-wheeled motorized vehicle that can transport people, animals, and cargo. Executions and designs vary in car styles, sizes, prices, fuel types, off-road capabilities, sound systems, dashboards, etc. Similar ideas, very different executions. Designing customer experiences goes deeper, beyond the idea, to the precise execution of the idea. For example, the problem statement is, customers would like to get purchases faster. One idea is, offer express shipping. That's not the only possible idea. We could also offer faster production or store pickup. Express shipping's customer-facing execution and design include how shipping options are explained on the product page. What is express shipping? How will it be shipped? How long will it take? What does it cost? And what other options do I have? How can shipping options in the cart and during checkout be simple, clear, and intuitive? Plus, how do we make sure people have selected the option they intended to choose? Poor information architecture or interaction design could lead people to choose standard shipping when they need it faster. Figure 46. Screenshot from an item on redbubble.com. It understands that I'm in Italy. It offers express shipping that will put the item in my hands on 26 October. Standard shipping will deliver the item during the last week of October. Prices are not stated, but the timing information answers shoppers' questions before they experience doubt or confusion. The layout and information are minimal and clear. This is pretty good. Figure 47. Contrast the above to this screenshot from an item on teespring.com. Teespring. It's not clear when this item will be in my hands. The Teespring item would ship after I receive the Redbubble order. Delivery details are a list I'd rather not read. Redbubble and Spring, formerly Teespring, are direct competitors offering similar PSE with similar features. The designs and executions of the same idea are very different. Different content and information are presented differently. The layout and visual design are different. The experiences are different. Earlier in this chapter, we discussed designing based on customers' tasks and needs versus working from predefined, pre-decided features. This comes to life with our Redbubble and Spring examples. 1. If project requirements demanded that the product page have a bulleted list explaining policies and how you will find more information later in checkout, then designers often feel forced to include that whether or not it's a good design or experience. 2. Project requirements may demand that the product page not explain delivery times in the hopes that the user will add the item to their cart to see delivery times. This would bump up a metric around the number of items added to the cart, but can be a poor user experience. 3. Customers have various tasks and subtasks. The typical task might be to find a cool design, pick an item, and have the vendor print the design on the selected item. In my case, the task is slightly different. purchase an item with my own design on it to examine the quality of the printing and the item. It was easy to tell which website had spent more time on the design and execution of my particular task. Logging into Redbubble made them recognize me as the creator, and the markup was automatically removed from anything I added to the cart from my own shop. Truly a no-brainer. A subtask is my time and brain power spent understanding the many dimensions of shipping and delivery. How much of the behind-the-scenes logistics, such as where the item is produced, should be exposed to the customer? What do customers need to know to feel trust in the company and the purchase? Did we invest in the research that gave us knowledge around customers' tasks, subtasks, needs, preferences, and concerns? Do we know what increases or breaks trust? 4. The Redbubble and Spring post-purchase experiences are different. Despite Spring seeing an Italian shipping address and the product declaring that they fulfill from the USA and the EU, I received a shipping notification that I have a DHL international package coming from Kentucky, USA. It should arrive in a month. When I checked out, the site said I would get the item in 2 or 3 weeks. Would I have decided against ordering if I knew I would have to wait a month? If Spring can produce and ship items from the EU, why is my item coming from Kentucky? Will my package be delayed in Italian customs? Considering I once paid Italian customs $14 on a $25 book coming from America, what will I have to pay on a $20 t-shirt? Does Spring understand that I would not have to pay customs fees if they had shipped from the EU? Spring should have noticed it was me buying a single item from my own shop, and it's my first ever purchase. This is likely to be someone doing a quality check before they sell the item to the public. Wouldn't you want them to get the item the fastest way possible? The idea is a start. The design and execution possibilities are endless. The user-centered design process leads us through trying variations of designs and executions, and then rounds of testing with target audiences to ensure that we have created the best solution for the original problem or opportunity. Like research, thorough design and testing cycles must not be skimped on or skipped. This is where our customer intelligence comes to life in the form of prototypes and testable concept executions. When I run brainstorming sessions, I only ask for concepts and ideas. The attendees don't sketch the exact design or execution. They don't draw screens of what offering express shipping looks like. We have specialized CX architects who can utilize their skills, experience, and application of best practices to design, test, and iterate on detailed and exact executions. Try it. Ideas only. If your company likes workshops, you can make them shorter and more efficient by only collecting ideas and high-level concepts. In a collaborative work environment, teammates would also have access to all customer intelligence. They would have quantitative data and survey results, as well as qualitative insights and access to research session recordings. They should be familiar with all of these before the workshop. The workshop can start with the problem statement, which everybody would already know since we are not siloed and everybody has access to that information. CX facilitators can lead attendees through brainstorming exercises that utilize our knowledge about target audiences and their tasks, needs, and goals. Focus on what truly solves the problem for our customers. Any idea that could make the business money or meet KPIs, but is customer peripheric, should be sequestered with other customer peripheric ideas and not done. Remember that you are only collecting general ideas and not sketches, wireframes, or prototypes. Our process at a high level. This book focuses more on research tasks since without high-quality research, you are probably setting projects up for small or large failures. All of the user-centered design process is critical and vital. It must not be skimped on, deprioritized, or democratized. Transforming toward customer centricity means empowering specialists to utilize UCD as your problem-finding and problem-solving process. Whether you've been calling it human-centered design, UX, CX, product discovery, or creating empathy, you're talking about user-centered design and customer centricity. Let's walk through our new process at a high level. Phase 1. Phase 1 overlaps with the understanding stream in Tri-Track Agile. We start with research. Without diving into people, systems, and contexts, we can't find root causes, needs, workflows, tasks, workarounds, or knowledge, or its lack. For a PSE discovery project, we wouldn't start with features, ideas, guesses, and the goal of discovering if any of those are good. We would start from knowledge about our target and current customers. If you work from qualitative research data, you know where unmet needs exist. You can skip hypothesis-first discovery steps that try to determine if anybody would want a particular feature or idea. Task-oriented design doesn't start with the idea, feature, or a search for who might want either. We start by learning where we might need fresh solutions. As mentioned in an earlier chapter, a great method to use during Phase 1 is to create a shared whiteboard, physical or virtual. The entire cross-functional team, including stakeholders, has a deadline by which they must add sticky notes on the board's 4 quadrants: unanswered questions, guesses and assumptions, potentially outdated or incorrect information, and what they wish they knew. This is what we intend to discover. Rather than moving forward with guesses, assumptions, or outdated information, researchers use these notes to create and refine research goals, methods, and other study details. This ensures that researchers will learn the answers to everybody's questions. It's also a great way to collaborate and have more people involved in the research planning. After a research study is completed and we have analyzed it along with other relevant qualitative and quantitative data, researchers map the current state and represent this with a task analysis diagram, customer journey map, or service blueprint. Researchers construct problem statements. They, and service designers if you have them, work strategically and collaboratively on the future state map showing how to make employee, customer, and other experiences more efficient, more intuitive, and better in any possible way. The future state does not necessarily detail specific features or solutions. It shows where current processes and experiences can be optimized. We are not locked into solutions at this point of the process. Once teammates are aligned around the improved and streamlined future state, now we have a document to guide potential solutions to the original problem. Note that this improved customer workflow could be a fix or change to existing PSE, completely new, innovative, and disruptive PSE, or somewhere in between. Don't let the idea of an improved customer or employee workflow make you think that we are focused on small changes or incremental optimizations. The generative research done in Phase 1 can also create or update personas, typologies, or user definitions, Delta CX impact maps, Delta CX change dependency maps, the stakeholder map, and the ecosystem map, which visualizes the people and relationships connected to our target audiences. Research insights, customer intelligence, and actionable documentation set our projects up for successful next phases. Phase 2. Phases 2 and 3 correspond to the discovery stream in Tri-Track Agile. Product, CX, engineering, and anybody vital on our team collaborate on reviewing and examining the insights, opportunities, unmet needs, tasks, and pain points discovered during research. They use their preferred prioritization matrices or scoring to determine in which order we will address the issues described in the problem statements. This is not feature or solution prioritization. This is deciding which customer problems and needs will be addressed and solved first. Now that we've decided on priorities, each domain can create their roadmaps and plans, including time estimation. CX will have its own roadmaps and plans. Engineering has release and sprint planning. Some people roadmap very broadly, like, here's what we're working on now, what's next, and what's more down the road. Some people roadmap by quarter, release, or month. It's hard to roadmap or plan at a higher level if you don't have a good sense of what can reasonably be accomplished in a day or week. Therefore, I suggest creating detailed project plans that can roll up into roadmaps. As shown earlier, my project plans organize work by the day. Notice that planning is still not at the feature level. None of this says, simplifying credit card updating will have these screens, or simplifying credit card updating has a choose your primary credit card feature and a refer a friend feature. In task-oriented design, we don't have exact features during prioritization and planning. We know the problem we plan to address. Features might change as CX architects design and test possible problem solutions. Phase 3. With our work prioritized, estimated, and planned, we can move into content, information architecture, interaction design, service design, and visual design, including testing and improvement cycles. In this phase, we work to solve the original problem statement. We go from simplify credit card updating as our strategy to the exact screens, functions, digital or human interactions, services, steps, and customer workflows that best achieve this goal. At the end of this phase, we have vetted and finalized designs, prototypes, and other documentation that move to the next assembly line station. Phase 4. Phase 4 corresponds to the delivery stream in Tri-Track Agile. Once CX has a tested and vetted solution, you can break that into features, stories, tickets, or whatever delivery teams prefer. If the company wants to release something less than what CX created, possibly as an MVP, we should check if there is a smaller version of the solution that delivers user value and solves the original problem. If reducing PSE just to have an MVP would remove value, usability, or usefulness, don't strip it down. We should only release what customers are likely to give 5 stars out of 5. As Principle 5 of the Agile Manifesto says, quote, build projects around motivated individuals, give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. End quote. Beyond Phase 4, we are monitoring live PSE for success, failure, metrics, and room for improvement. Then we circle back again to Phase 1. Customers' definitions of quality and done. Agile typically defines quality as excellent software performance, and code with few or no bugs that meets stakeholder requirements. Agile typically defines done as completing the work we planned to do and our work fit business objectives. It's coded, tested, documented, and deployable. These definitions of quality and done are self-reflective. Hey, did I do what I meant to do and it seems to be working well? Then I declare it quality and done. Congratulations on writing working code, but does our PSE match our customers' definitions of quality or done? Does it fit their tasks and needs? Did the system optimize or complicate a workflow? If engineering's code is high quality and feels done, but the concept doesn't match what customers need, is it still quality? Is it done? Did we waste time and budget building the wrong solution? We must be careful to not use engineering's definitions of quality or done as our only definitions. This feature is not quality or done if the customer needs to contact support, leaves us low ratings, or the feature doesn't solve the original problem or unmet need. Improve this by 1. Writing CX definitions of quality and done. Document and socialize these. If our designs don't meet these definitions, they're not ready and shouldn't be put in the backlog for engineering to build. It doesn't match CX's definitions of quality or done if we haven't started with generative research and completed at least one round of usability testing on our proposed solution. Perhaps you require at least 2 testing rounds to check that your revised solution is a winner. It's not quality or done if CX architects are treated as order takers and unable to influence the solution. It's not quality or done if DEI and accessibility weren't part of our process at every step. Did we lean on stereotypes? Did we think we could sprinkle on accessibility later? Did we announce that no blind people use our system, so we're probably fine? Definitions of quality and done might be specific to a project, or they could be general principles added to your CX collaboration playbook. 2. Including these definitions in engineering's definitions of ready or done. It's not ready or done if it's not accessible. It's not ready or done if engineering got creative with CX's prototypes and built something that doesn't match the designs. 3. Adding a CX review column to your Kanban board, Jira, or whatever engineering uses. While QA reviews for bugs and does their acceptance testing, CX will review engineering builds to ensure that they match CX project goals and CX's definitions of done. Experience flaws and debt are bugs we want to catch early. End of list. Figure 48. Screenshot of social posts. A tweet from Brian Chesky, a co-founder of Airbnb, in October 2022 says that property cleaning fees were never intentionally designed. They are playing catch-up, and it's one of his top priorities. Someone else in the discussion retweeted a December 2019 tweet when Brian tweeted that they were fixing the cleaning fees problem. Dare Obasanjo, Obasanjo, screenshot all of this and commented that it was a mind-blowing admission that Airbnb has spent 3 years trying to figure out how to show cleaning fees. It sounds more like Airbnb spent 3 years ignoring cleaning fees and they are finally a priority. Try it. The Compete Against Yourself Challenge. It's my variation of an idea Phil Golub, Golub, mentioned. If you want to experience the power of excellent CX work and try something innovative, here is your chance. Form a superstar dream CX team of experienced and fantastic practitioners, 3 researchers, 2 CX architects, a service designer, content strategist, and a visual designer. Give them 6 months to work on an experimental and innovative project. If you do not have these workers available, you could bring in freelancers or an outside agency. Project Level 1. The Dream Team will conduct research with current customers as well as target audience participants who are not our customers. The team will have the time and budget to create high-quality research artifacts, task analysis, and service blueprints. After prioritizing insights, the CX architects can follow the optimized task flow and work on solutions. These solutions would be improved workflows and interfaces for the same functionality you have now. Beyond fresh paint or reskinning, this would be a whole new CX or UX architecture and experience for your existing PSE. Project Level 2. If you have more time and resources to invest, the team can change some functionality based on what they learn in their research and what an engineering team or 2 can prioritize. Project Level 2 upgrades Level 1's fresh workflows, interface, and usability to design sorely missed features and fixes that would add additional PSE value. Measure. Whether you try Project Level 1 or 2, you can capture some interesting metrics. Perhaps sales can offer people both versions and see which potential customers pick or prefer, the current version or your experimental version. Remember, the functionality for Project Level 1 is the same. The experience is different. We can measure the conversion rate and cost of acquisition for each. We can use metrics from the Measuring Customer Centricity chapter. Why do this? With Project Level 1, we can experiment with giving the same features and functions a dramatic user experience change. You have essentially invented a pseudo-competitor with feature parity. As this new PSE is yours, you will be able to track and measure it from sales efforts through usage through longer-term metrics and experiences. Does the experimental version lead to lower support utilization, lower cost of acquisition, more conversions or sales, longer customer lifetime, etc.? You can also offer it as a new interface option to existing customers, giving them the option to revert to the previous version at any time. Track how many users try it and stay with it. Monitor how utilization differs. If you really want to get creative, you can invent a brand for the experimental version so that people might not know it's your company. Create a website for it and assign some sales and support staff to it, training them to use the experimental brand name. For inspiration, consider that Venmo and PayPal have been the same company since 2013, but have different experiences and interfaces. This experiment is neither short nor cheap, but if you really want to know if investing in significant improvements to PSE experiences is worth it, this would be a clear way to know. You might end up with a design and experience that you eventually transition all users to.